Welcome back to our series, More Than a Statistic. Next, you'll hear from Jules about how to help a victim with resources that should be available on college campuses.
As much as we want to intervene and prevent all of the violence from happening in the first place, we're not really at a place in our society where that's going to happen quite yet. What are some signs that somebody has experienced something already? What can we look out for as friends, loved ones, supporters to help someone who has experienced violence? The first thing to note is that everyone is going to respond to trauma differently. And so there are no telltale signs that somebody has experienced trauma because everyone responds in their own unique way. So the signs that we're going to talk about are just some common signs. They're not all of the signs. And it's also important to note that no matter how someone responds to sexual violence, it is the right way for them to respond. Some folks will be crying, some folks will be really angry, others might be completely stoic and have no emotion at all, others might be making jokes to help deal with the pain. There is no wrong way to deal with sexual violence. So if somebody isn't responding in the way that you would expect, that's okay, because there is no set way for someone to respond to trauma. All that said, some signs you might be on the lookout for are signs of depression, whether that's sadness or withdrawing, isolating themselves, not wanting to go out when they wanted to before, or showing signs of non-suicidal self-injury or suicidal ideation. There might also be some low self-esteem, where they blame themselves for what happened. They might think that they have asked for it. They might be concerned about sexually transmitted infections or diseases, or maybe concerns about unwanted pregnancies. There may also be anxiety for certain situations that might not have been anxiety-ridden for that person before. So for example, if an assault occurred at a bar, then that person might not want to go to a bar because it triggers that emotional response and makes them fearful. You might find that they are missing classes or not turning in assignments when that's something that they did before. You might find that their grades start to fall or suffer. Or you might see increased alcohol or drug use as a way to kind of self-medicate what they've experienced. So what do you do if someone you know has already experienced sexual violence? The very first thing that you do is believe them. Tell them that you believe them and tell them that it is not their fault. There are zero actions that a person can take where sexual violence is the logical consequence. There is no amount of alcohol or flirty behavior or low-cut clothing or anything where sexual violence is the consequence for those actions. They just don't exist. Violence is never the victim's fault. So the very first thing that you can do is tell them that you support them and that you believe them and that it is not their fault. The next thing I recommend doing is let them know if you have any reporting obligations. Like if you are an RA, you might have certain reporting obligations as part of your job. And so it's important to let folks know what your reporting obligations are before they get too far into their story. That way, they can choose whether they want to continue telling you their story, or maybe they would rather reach out to a confidential resource who doesn't have any reporting obligations. And that's okay. The next thing is to listen to what they have to say and everything they have to say. When someone experiences trauma, it can be really difficult to express what happened and how it has made them feel. And so we need to allow survivors the time and space to share what it is that they want to share. On that same note, it's really important not to pry or ask for information that they don't want to share yet. As a friend, loved one, supporter, it is more important for us to be there and to support them than to play investigator or detective. As human beings, we're curious, right? Like we want to know things. We want to know all of the answers. But in this moment, when somebody is hurting, it's not that time. Right now, we need to allow them to share what they are willing to share in a way that is comfortable for them and give them the control of how they want to share their story. From there, it's also important not to push them in any particular direction. Again, we're all human. We all have ideas and thoughts and opinions about what someone should do after they've experienced sexual violence. But in this moment, when someone needs our help, our opinion doesn't matter. It's up to us to let them know, hey, these are your options, these are your resources. What would you like to do? What feels comfortable for you? And allow them to be the one to make that choice. It's also important to connect them to any resources that are available, whether that's on campus, off campus, or one of our great national resources. The most important thing that you can do to help a survivor is to let them have control over how they tell their story. Sexual violence is a crime where someone's autonomy, their sense of person, their sense of body has been taken away from them. And so in order to help them begin that healing journey, it's really important to help them reclaim that autonomy and that control over their own life. And that starts with how they proceed after the assault takes place. So how do you start that conversation? What do you do? What do you say? The very first thing you do is tell them what you've been seeing. Hey, I've noticed you haven't been going to classes lately, or you seem really down lately. Is everything okay? And letting them know, hey, I've been noticing these things. Again, we start with those I statements, right? That way it's not accusatory or blamey in any way. It's, I'm seeing this. Are you okay? Rather than, you really should be going to class, or you're really down lately. What's up with you? Right? We're approaching it from a position that is more empathetic and comforting and supportive. And that's the big part, is that empathy. Erase the phrase, at least, from your vocabulary. At least is a phrase that minimizes someone's experience. Now, we don't mean it in this way, right? Like when we say, well, at least this didn't happen, or well, at least you still have this, we mean it in a way to be helpful and like we're trying to be optimistic and joyful. But in reality, at least minimizes what that person is experiencing and how they're feeling. We're letting them know, hey, what you experienced wasn't all that bad. When they feel, yeah, it was pretty bad. So if we eliminate at least from our vocabulary, we can have much more empathetic statements for our friends. Rarely, if ever, does a response make something better. I've been a victim's advocate for 10 years in multiple states, and I have yet to find that magical combination of words that makes it better. And that's because there is no magical combination of words. It doesn't exist. There is literally nothing that I or anyone can say that is going to make this better. But what can help and support someone as they begin their healing journey is being there, being a listening ear, letting them know that they are believed. So what happens if your friend doesn't want to talk about what happened? Well, that's okay. There might be a lot of reasons why someone isn't ready or willing to talk about what happened. And that has nothing to do with you. It's up to them to decide who and how they want to share their story. So what can you do instead? You can offer to talk at a different time. Let them know that you are available to chat whenever they're ready. You might want to recommend that if they don't want to talk to you, that's okay. But there are professional resources available in case they ever do want to talk to someone, whether that's the counseling center or a national hotline. It's also helpful to connect them to different resources and ask them if they want those resources. Hey, I know you don't want to talk with me right now, and that's okay. But would you like me to give you the number for the National Sexual Assault Hotline? You also want to make sure that you're keeping those lines of communication open. Let them know in whatever way feels natural and comfortable for you in your relationship with that person, that you're still there to talk. And that even if they never want to talk about it directly, you're there to support them and love them in whatever way works best for you. It's also good to do little things to let them know that you care. Whether that's sending them a text message every now and then, hey, it's a really beautiful day outside, I hope you have a great one. Or maybe send them a TikTok that you think will make them smile. Do those little things that let them know that you're thinking about them, that you care about them, and that you're there for them if they need you. I hope this has been helpful for you. If you ever need any assistance, please feel free to reach out to any of the beautiful resources that are available from this series. Thank you so much.